So there's no discoverability on Twitch. I know that, you know that, but that is not the root cause of 95% of the 7 million active streamers each month barely making any significant growth. The cause comes from the fact that before you started streaming, you probably didn't know that Twitch didn't have any discoverability. Therefore, your approach into streaming was completely wrong. In this video, I'm going to tell you why and explain to you how you can fix it. So in order to paint the picture, we're going to need to bring this back right to the beginning of like the pre-streamer typical journey. And this is really, in most cases, people that have been gamers and they decide to start streaming. I know that there is the rise of just chatting, but I think in a lot of cases, people go from being gamers to streamers. And there lies the problem. Going from gaming to streaming is what I would say it's quite a low barrier to entry. You do need a lot of stuff to streaming, but actually to get started, you don't. And so what ends up happening is you've got typical gamer gaming 3, 4, 5 nights a week. And they go, well, I might as well start streaming. Because why not? I've seen people stream on Twitch. They make good amount of money. It looks fun. I potentially would want that as a long-term career. So what they do is they kind of turn on the stream as they're gaming, and they start streaming, alongside every time they game, 4 or 5 times a week. What then happens is the streamer kind of gets a little bit more serious. They are like, oh, I really like this streaming. I've got a couple of viewers. I like that engagement. I'm going to start taking streaming a bit more seriously. They then start to kind of work out how to use OBS, plugins, get their channels sorted out, graphics, overlays, whatever. And then they realize after a few months, they're not really growing. Then they have that light bulb. Oh, there's no discoverability on Twitch. What do I need to do to grow on Twitch then? Well, I need to create content off platform, generally TikTok, short form content. That is kind of the easiest way to get people over to Twitch at the moment, even though it's not easy. However, because most people have gone from that kind of gaming to streaming kind of approach, they're now streaming 4 or 5 times a week. And on top of a job, that is leaving very little time to actually create content and get better at creating content. It's a common thing that I see. I see streamers who have streamed for 6 to 12 months and they've made barely any growth. And I first ask them, how many times are you streaming? And they go 4 or 5 times a week. I said, do you post TikTok content? Some of them do, some of them don't. The ones that do, when you look at the quality of the short form content, like there's been barely any progress over 6 to 12 months. And that's because they're not giving themselves enough time to actually work out how to get better at creating short form content because they're streaming too much. And there lies the massive issue, is that because you've taken that approach of gaming to streaming, people are reluctant to pull back the amount of times they're streaming a week because they're having fun and they're enjoying it. Like, what would you rather do? Would you rather game and stream 5 times a week and do a few TikToks, spend a couple of hours editing, or game and stream only 2 or 3 times a week and spend 4 or 5 hours editing? What's more fun? Well, the first option is more fun, so that's the option that most people take. But that's the option that doesn't work in most cases for growth. What people should do is when they have got the idea of starting to stream because they've been gaming, is that they should actually not start streaming and actually get used to creating short form content and long form, but mainly short form content from them gaming. So instead of them like gaming and, well, I'm going to go live because I'm going to go live anyway. No. Do not do that. Do not do that, because that will just lead to more problems of you just streaming more. Do not stream and just play the game with the pure focus on creating clips, because streaming, gaming, managing chat, coming up with ideas on in-game for clips is so many things all together. Your focus should be purely gaming and creating gaming clips. By doing that, you can really start to get better at that and really start to produce some good stuff for short form. Start to master creating short form content within your niche. And once you start getting better at it and you've got a good workflow, you understand how to use the editing program, you can be efficient, then start streaming, then start doing 1 or 2 days a week, because you'll then have kind of a good understanding of how to create short form content and be able to continue to pump that out as you start streaming. And you can also now bring in this audience that you've built from short form because you've grown your account quicker than you would have done if you were streaming, because you've spent more time on your short form content. And now you've actually got viewers to stream to, rather than streaming to zero viewers, just streaming, pumping out TikToks. They're shit, no growth. 6 months later, you burn out, you quit because you couldn't grow. Like, I just see it time and time again from small streamers. And I'm saying, please don't stream that much. Please focus on short form. But it just, honestly, just don't want to listen. So I'm going to keep banging that message home. And this doesn't apply to everybody. There are cases where people don't have to produce short form and they can just stream and they've got everything you need for growth in streaming. And I don't know how they do it. Like, they're a very special case. But for the majority of people, this is what you need to do. You need to do the stuff that people don't want to do because it's harder. If streaming and growing on Twitch was so easy because you could just turn up and stream and game, then like, that's just, everybody would be growing together and it'd be working and everybody would be happy. But unfortunately it's not. And unfortunately most streamers don't want to do the kind of nitty gritty groundwork to get the growth. And so to wrap it up, I'll leave you with this. In order to be successful and grow as a streamer, you need to be good at creating content off platform for TikTok and for YouTube. However, I flip that on its head and ask, in order to be successful and grow on off platforms such as TikTok and YouTube, do you need to be good at streaming? No, you don't. So then the other question then leads on to, what's more important to be good at and get right first, streaming or creating content off platform?